What if I told you that your Google Ads account could be wasting money every single day without you ever creating a bad ad or choosing the wrong keywords? Because the truth is, Google enables a lot of settings by default, and while some of them can be useful in the right situations, others quietly drain your budget if you don't know that they're actually turned on. So in today's video, we're going to walk through the 5 settings that I check in almost every single Google Ads account to help stop that wasted spend and to help improve lead quality. So the first setting I check is one that Google does enable by default when you are creating a search campaign. So the Google Search Partners and the Google Display Network. So when you're first creating a campaign, Google automatically enables those. Or if you're already running a campaign, if you go into your settings, if you want to see that it's turned on, then they do show in the settings whether they're checked on or checked off. Now, it's important to understand that these are actually 2 completely different networks, and they are very different from the traditional search. So search partners allow your ads to appear on third-party search websites, while the display network shows your ads on other Google platforms like Gmail, YouTube, across other websites, apps, but they're both basically doing the same thing. They are showing your ad on places other than Google search. And it's important to remember that Google will always take the path of least resistance to get you results. So if it thinks that it can get you clicks and conversions from these other placements, it will lean into that even if the quality of those clicks and conversions suck. So for a lot of small service businesses, I do recommend turning both of these off when you're first getting started because it does tend to waste your budget without bringing good leads in. So if you're trying to generate leads through Google search, you want to know exactly where your money is going. And so by leaving these networks enabled or turned on, you're spreading your budget across places that often produce really low quality traffic, accidental clicks, or people who simply just aren't ready to hire you yet. And that doesn't mean that search partners or the display network are always bad. Some businesses do see really good results from them, but I would rather build a profitable search campaign first and then test the additional networks later once you already have solid data that you can compare it to. The second setting is the location targeting, and this one catches a lot of local businesses by surprise, and it is kind of hidden in the settings. So let's say that you're a plumber in Dallas and you set your location targeting to the areas that you serve. You'd probably assume that your ads are only going to show to the people in Dallas, but that's not always true. So by default, Google often targets people who are in your location or interested in your location. So that means that if somebody is living in another state or in San Antonio or another really big city in Texas, but they search for Dallas or Dallas plumber, they could potentially see your ad even though they are not in your service area and probably won't become a customer. So to fix this, go into your campaign settings, open up the locations, and then there's a little location options down at the bottom, and you want to make sure that you are targeting presence, so people in or regularly in your targeted area. So this gives you much tighter control over who is actually seeing your ad and making sure that they are in your area or frequently in your area. Okay, on to setting number 3. This is probably my least favorite default setting inside of Google Ads, but Google has something called auto-applied recommendations. And if it's turned on, Google can make changes to your campaigns without asking you first. And now not every recommendation is bad. Some can genuinely improve your performance. The problem is that some of them can fundamentally change how your campaign is working. So for example, Google can automatically add in broad match keywords. They can create new keywords. They can switch your bidding strategy, increase your target CPA, remove negative keywords, generate new ad copy. And these aren't just small things. Those are major strategic decisions. So to check if you have these turned on, go into your recommendations tab, then into auto applied settings and review every option that is enabled. This is usually also something that the Google reps really push on business owners to enable. Personally, I prefer keeping those turned off, all of them, and reviewing recommendations manually. That way I stay in control of what changes are being made to my campaigns. And one thing that's important to know is that turning off auto apply doesn't undo the changes that have already happened. So if your campaign suddenly starts performing differently and you have some of these enabled, it may not be a market change that has made the campaign change. It could be some of these recommendations are hurting your campaigns. The next setting is another AI feature that sounds great on paper, and that's auto-created assets. And these allow Google to automatically generate headlines and descriptions for your ads based on information that it finds on your website. The problem is, Google only knows what it can read. So if your website still has outdated services or old promotions, vague messaging, or pages that you even forgot existed, Google may start building your ads around that information. And that's why I recommend reviewing these assets regularly or turning them off if you want complete control over your messaging. To change this, head over to your assets and then into auto created assets and disable the automatic asset generation if you would rather manage your own messaging. And the last setting isn't actually necessarily a setting, it's more of a strategy that isn't usually executed properly, and that's broad match keywords, but specifically broad match keywords with no negative keyword lists. Broad match is a default keyword match type in Google Ads. It allows your ads to appear for searches related to your keyword's meaning, including synonyms, related terms, plurals, or variations, even if the user actually never types in your exact keyword. But because it relies on AI to capture a wider audience, it requires careful optimization. And I'm not saying broad match is bad. Broad match can work really well, and it is currently working really well for a handful of my clients, but only when Google has enough information to understand what a good customer actually looks like for your business. So let's say you are an automotive shop and your keyword is automotive repair near me. Google will often serve your ads for related services like detailing or car wash, sometimes competitor names, bodywork, collision repair. So then you start getting phone calls for those services that you don't actually offer. So Google ends up seeing that you are getting conversions, but they are the wrong conversions. They're low quality. That's where the negative keyword list comes in. So you would add all of those negatives so that Google can start to learn who not to show your ad to. Kind of like adding guardrails to Google's algorithm. And the main thing is Google doesn't know what happens on those phone calls. So Google sees all of these conversions, they think they are good conversions, and so it is going to go out and find more people like that to convert for you. So if you're not adding those guardrails, it's just going to keep going deeper down the road, getting you conversions that you don't want. So if you are going to use broad match, make sure that your conversion tracking is clean and make sure that you are reviewing your search terms report regularly, probably daily or every other day, depending on your budget, and continue building out your negative keyword list over time. If you're just getting started, especially with a smaller budget, I'd usually recommend beginning with exact match keywords first and then expanding into broad or phrase once you have collected enough data and see what is coming into the account. And one bonus setting that's becoming more relevant is the AI Max setting, which is something that you can toggle on or off within your search campaigns. So AI Max allows Google to expand the searches that your ads are appearing for, lets Google rewrite your ad copy, and even choose different landing pages from your website if it thinks that that page will perform better than the one that you told it to go to. And that can be incredibly powerful if it's used right, but it also means that Google has much more freedom to spend your budget. So if your website contains old blog posts, outdated service pages, or content that you don't actually want people landing on, AI Max may decide those pages are relevant unless you put some guardrails in place. AI Max definitely has potential, but like most automations inside of Google Ads, it performs best when you give it good instructions. So if you want to learn more about AI Max, when you should actually use it and how to set it up without wasting your budget, I've put together a whole other video that walks through that whole process. Click on that one and I'll show you exactly how to decide whether AI Max is the right fit for your campaigns. I'll see you over there.